Hey everybody, and welcome back to Two Techie Travelers. Today we are telling you about our stay here in the lovely state of Arkansas at Petit State Park.
We have been here for the past week. It is a beautiful state park. It's actually Arkansas's first state park. It's a really lovely area. We paid about less than $30 a night for our electric and water hookups. They do have full hookups. It looks like a Campground A. We were in Campground B?
C. We are in Campground
C.
C.
C, that's right. But there's over 100 sites here, so if you are looking to be in this area, this is definitely a great spot, and I'm hopeful that you're going to find a campsite open when you get there, because there's so many available.
It has been a busy site, especially coming to the 3-day weekend here. So the site that we stayed at was a water and electric site. We had a couple of issues with the power turning off. We lost power about twice, but that was as simple as just resetting the breaker. So it's possible that we pulled over 30 amps and caused that. But that would be the first time that we have caused a 30 amp to pop using both of our electric heaters. So I'm not exactly sure what happened, if that was our fault or, the park's, but that's something just to be aware of.
Yes. So we, again, are in campsite C. Campsite B is actually under construction right now, and it looks like it's closed. It's closed and under construction. It looks like it's going to be a great update for the park. It looks like they're going to have sewer hookups there. I don't know that for sure. I'm just speculating based on what we saw in the construction.
Yep.
We were able to actually see them put in the shower houses there, which are built off-site and then brought in. So that was a cool thing that, you don't always get to see.
Yeah, it was kind of crazy. So we got some video of it that you'll see here in just a second, where it kind of was just half of a building on the back of a semi.
Yeah.
And they were just installing it off of a crane.
Yes.
Kind of wild.
It really was quite wild. Speaking of the shower and bath houses, so the shower and bath house here, we lucked out with our spot, and it is literally right across, but they are really clean, that I've noticed.
Yeah, same for the men's.
At least on the ladies' side. There's a little awkward situation between where the shower is and then like where you're supposed to put your stuff and change. Usually it's a double curtain, maybe like a bathroom door,
Yep.
and then the curtain for your shower. These had like really thin shower curtains that you could pretty much like hold your hand up on the other side and see how many fingers there were. I'll show you some shots that I got of it, kind of as we've been doing these shower reviews for the kind of this since.
They've been very popular on
22.
TikTok, actually.
Since 2022, we've been doing shower reviews, because I think you should know what the shower looks like there. At least for my ladies, if you feel me, like, you want to know what the shower looks like.
If you want to see more of those, check us out on TikTok at Two Techie Travelers.
Yes, I've been posting them there, just the whole shower reviews. But yeah, that's kind of my only complaint, is I wish the shower situation was a little bit better managed for changing and stuff.
Yeah, and it's an identical layout in the men's, where you kind of get dressed on one side and then you kind of have to walk through an open section to get to your shower. So just take your towel with you is what I found to work. And then the problem is there's no towel hooks close to it, so you kind of have just to awkwardly throw it over the shower
I'm
curtain.
glad you did that too. That's what I did.
I feel like that's what most people probably have done. So outside of the shower situation, this park has been an absolutely delight to be in. There is a ton of recreational opportunities. They have basketball courts, tennis courts, swimming pools. I think they have multiple swimming pools. I think they have one at both the Mathers Lodge and then like a separate one.
Yes, they do. I don't believe the one not at Mathers Lodge isn't open right now, and I don't think the one at the lodge is open either.
Well, it's the middle of the winter in Arkansas on the top of a mountain, so we understand.
Yeah, we get it. But again, tons of recreation opportunities. There's also Lake Bailey, which is right
over there.
Yeah, just right over there for us. I'll show you some shots of it. It's a beautiful little lake. You can kayak on it. You cannot swim on it. And I think you can put in like small, minimally motorized boats.
Yeah, probably just a trolling motor is what I've seen. Kayaks and unpowered, totally fine.
Yep, totally good. The other thing that we want to talk about is there is the Mather Lodge. So that is a restaurant and has lodging stays,
Hmm.
kind of more similar to like I'm guessing what is like a hotel. And then they've got cabins, and of course, tons of room for campers at their campsites.
Yeah, there's also some like yurts nearby that we've noticed. I'm gonna assume
Oh,
they
yeah.
rent those out. So there's a lot, even if you're not a camper or an RVer, or you don't like coming out in a tent, there's opportunities here for some pretty nice camping opportunities. So definitely check it out if you're looking to travel, especially if you're in the Midwest. This park has a lot of recreation, like we said. The hiking trails are fantastic as well. The one downside about all of the awesome hiking trails they have here is I unfortunately sprained my ankle while we were in New Orleans. So Tara's been a little disappointed this week as I haven't been able to really get out there with her on some of the trails. But all the trails we're going to talk about here, we both went on. The first one that we went on was the Bear Cave Trail. That is a short, half mile in, half mile out kind of loop situation.
No, it wasn't half a mile. It was a quarter of a
Oh,
mile.
quarter of a mile, half mile total.
Yes. It was really cool to see all the unique rock formations being from the south, like Florida, not like this part south. We don't really see many rock formations, so it was really cool. Very similar to what we saw in Huntsville, Alabama at Montesano State Park.
Yeah, definitely. It was a really awesome cave formation. Getting to just kind of walk through those is always kind of neat, always kind of terrifying because, you're like, these rocks could fall, but they've been there for tens of thousands, if not hundreds of thousands or longer years. So chances are you're going to be all right.
Yes. And speaking of rocks, we also went to the Rock House Cave Trail, which is really cool. It is quarter mile in, quarter mile back. So again, half mile trail, really great for, especially if you might have youngsters, or maybe you're just starting out on your hiking journey, whichever. It has really unique rocks that they call turtle rocks. Just a really cool rock formation that you walk down. And then there's this huge, again, cave, like it says in the name, huge cave that was really cool. And there was some, like, what is that? Like the drawings, but not vandalism.
Yeah, like cave paintings, I think
Yes.
is what they would call them in that instance.
Yes. Yeah, not vandalism. They're thousands of years before, but you could kind of see them. They're in like a red coloring. So.
Yeah, they were kind of hard to find. It's hard. Some of them were hard to tell if it was modern graffiti that had been cleaned, which is honestly a shame that people do that. Speaking of which, we unfortunately have a story about that here in just a minute.
Yes.
But the cave paintings in general were pretty cool.
Yeah.
The cave itself is a really awesome natural formation, and then knowing that the history of it, that people were there thousands of years ago, is pretty awesome.
So we're going to talk about Cedar Falls Trail, which was the longest trail we went on. It was a mile in, a mile back, so 2 miles round trip. So this is where you actually get to see the Cedar Falls. This is that trail. It was
Hence the name.
Hence the name. The first quarter mile and the last quarter mile, which are the same, is very rocky, very steepy.
The switchbacks are brutal in that last quarter mile segment. So just be aware of that it's rocky terrain. We saw plenty of people with like small kids make it to the end. So apparently it didn't deter them. So,
Yes.
But just know it is, as someone who had a recently sprained ankle, definitely some rough sections in there. But overall, it's definitely manageable.
Yes. And definitely wear your hiking boots if you've got them, or be sure to like protect your ankles, that sort of thing, because it is rocky, like you said. So there's a really unique stream that you're kind of going along after that rocky terrain. As you're going up to the falls are beautiful.
Absolutely gorgeous.
It's amazing, like tons of water falling down. I don't believe it ever dries up, but rather there's kind of just more
or less.
More or less some seasons
Yeah.
versus others. Like Austin did say, we were out there. I was doing my photography thing. Austin was hanging out around me, just enjoying the scenery.
Yeah, getting ready so that when Tara was done, we could fly the drone in the area. Having an extra set of eyes is an important thing, especially when you have other people around. Want to make sure that you don't put anybody at risk.
This family had been had gotten behind the waterfall. Not exactly sure how they did that. It didn't look like you were supposed to go back there. Anyways, they were under the waterfall. Looked like some people took their pictures. Then they like turned around for a couple minutes. This man, and it looked like, I'm guessing, what was his son. They appeared to be engraving the rock formation.
Yeah.
Like right
Behind the waterfall.
Which was so disappointing. When Austin pointed that out to me, that was what was happening. I honestly really got teary-eyed. It was a lot, not just to sit there and cry about how disrespectful that was.
Yeah.
And, you know, I'm sure there might be other engravings there, but it doesn't mean they need to put theirs there.
Yeah.
So if you, and there's tons of signs. There's tons of signs and rules that say don't do that, no vandalism. I think we passed by.
On that trail alone, at least three.
You'd have to pass by like at least 6 to get to the trail.
Yeah.
So it was just a blatant disregard for them not wanting to follow the rules.
Yeah, it's a pretty obvious thing that they don't want you to do, and with the number of signs, it seems to unfortunately be a problem for the Arkansas state parks. And it's just a shame that we have people that do that. So we hope that nobody that watches us is the type of person that's going to break out their pocket knife or pick up another rock and start carving their initials in. I promise that if you really want to do that you can go back to your own house and do it there. Nobody else wants to see that.
Yeah, if you want to leave an impact that lasts for generations, that's not it.
Yeah.
I guarantee it. And speaking of Arkansas state parks, they are free state parks, and they really try to stress that they are your state parks.
Yep.
Meaning everyone, whether that's the collective Arkansas people or the collective
The
people.
Arkansans, I believe.
The Arkansans.
Arkansans.
Petit State Park has several beautiful overlooks, which I think are a great addition to any state park or national park for that matter, that you can really get to see the entire view without having to go on a trail, if you don't have a bunch of time in this area.
Or if you are not necessarily a capable person and you need some additional assistance, or you just really want to pull up somewhere and be able to see.
Yes. So the first place that we went, as far as Overlooks goes, was the Petit Jean gravesite. Here we learned actually quite a bit about Petit Jean. We'll go into that later on because I think the sign there tells it really well.
Yeah.
But that was a beautiful look, and that is also where Stouts Point is as well. So if you're looking for that, that is the same area.
Yep. And it is a seriously beautiful. It's a gorgeous view from it. We are able to kind of look down at the Arkansas River. From there, you're able to really get an idea of what the terrain looks like, and it's a pretty miraculous view. Once we kind of go over the story of Petit Jean, you'll understand why she wanted to be buried there.
The legend of Petit Jean is one of the most captivating legends in the Arkansas folklore and is a romantic tale of the mountain's namesake. During the 18th century, a French nobleman named Chevet was granted an expedition to explore uncharted regions of the New World. His fiancée, Adrienne Dumont, tried to convince him to allow her to join him on his quest. Chevet refused, as there were many hardships and dangers on his journey, and women were not permitted on board ships. Adrienne came up with a plan to disguise herself as a young man and attempt to work as a ship hand. She landed a job as a ship's cabin boy. Her fellow sailors really liked the quiet little cabin boy, aka Adrienne, and gave him the name Petit Jean, which means Little John. Petit Jean kept her identity a secret, and eventually the ship made its journey up the Mississippi River and then into the Arkansas River, where the crew arrived at the foot of the mountain that would soon be named Petit Jean. Petit Jean became gravely ill, and her dying wish was to be buried upon the beautiful point of the mountain that overlooks the Arkansas River. This is where she was buried, and the mountain is named in memory of her.
We then went to the CCC Overlook. This is a beautiful overlook. I don't believe you can see the falls from there.
You cannot.
But it's a beautiful area. There's beautiful rock formations that are kind of on the down-facing side of it. So really, really really good spot to go to.
Yeah, and so Tara found I believe, a promotional image on Instagram that
Oh,
you can
Lost
see
with
here.
Lydia.
And it was an extremely cool photo of someone standing on a rock overhang. And we were able to locate that and take a very similar picture.
Yes.
I would caution you to do that because it was definitely sketchy.
Yes. But thank you, Lost with Lydia, for the inspiration, because I know she has been here before as well. And then we went to the M.A. Richter Memorial Overlook. This was another beautiful overlook that you got to see. It was on the same side as the CCC Overlook. So if you're looking to only stop at one of those, I think you should stop at the CCC Overlook.
Yeah, it's definitely the better of the two.
Again, still another beautiful overlook. And then the last overlook we went to was the Cedar Falls Overlook.
This one was awesome, and for more than just the reasons that you got to see the waterfall. It was an extremely well put together and fairly accessible overlook. It was all like a boardwalk type. So planks down, you're able to, if you were wheelchair bound, you were able to roll across it. I'm not sure if they claim it to be like ADA compliant or anything like that, but of the overlooks, to get really down in there, it's pretty good.
Yes.
There's some parts that take stairs, like if you fork off, but there's one section that you can get to that's, once you get onto the like boardwalked area, you can kind of just follow it until you get to that section with no problems.
Yeah. And it, again, provides a beautiful view of the falls in that area. And I think it felt like, definitely wasn't a trail, but like the boardwalk area, it wasn't like right there. It wasn't like 4 feet of boardwalk.
Yeah.
It was,
You definitely had to walk a little bit to get down in there, but it seriously was a breeze of a walk. It's, again, you're not on the ground, so there's no obstructions. You're basically walking down a boardwalk. It's
Yes.
it's hard to call it anything else.
Absolutely.
So, but once you get to the end, you're rewarded with a beautiful view of the waterfall from the like surface level before the fall starts. So you're up with it, so you can kind of see down into where the basin of the water actually pours into, which is cool if you're planning on doing that and going down to the fall, because you can see it from both sections.
We also went to the Palisades Overlook. I believe that is how you pronounce it. This was a good overlook. You actually got to see the other side of the CC Overlook. The CCC
They
Overlook.
look like directly at each other over the valley where the waterfall is. You can't quite see the waterfall, but you can see the valley.
Yes, and that was a beautiful overlook as well. So even if you're just driving through this area, definitely recommend stopping at some of the overlooks. The CCC Overlook for sure. And then the Cedar Falls Overlook.
And again, all of it's free to go to. So even if you're not staying at Petit Jean State Park, if you're in the area, definitely come check it out. It is a seriously wonderful recreational area that they have here. If you do find yourself in the area of Petit Jean State Park, there is a wonderful little coffee house called Petit Jean Coffee House that has this really, really like quaint environment.
Super cute.
We talked to the owner, and it used to be an A-frame home, and you can kind of tell that when you walk in, because you don't see many buildings, businesses that are built with an A-frame. And they've kind of completely renovated the inside and made it into this really cool coffee house. So they serve warm breakfast a couple days a week. We were fortunate they weren't actually serving it that day, but we caught them on a good day and they were happy to do it when we asked. So if you're nice, maybe they'll do it for you too. Maybe not. I don't know.
It was a really great establishment. I got a caramel latte. It was super good. They also had quite a few, I don't want to say like a gift shop, but they had like kind of an Arkansas store. They had Arkansas, which I think are like a
local sock.
A local sock company. And they looked like they also had some other locally made things in there as well, whether that's the Petit Jean area or Arkansas in general. So I thought that was really great. And it's on your way to the Petit Jean gravesite. So just stop and grab your coffee, look at the view, you'll be good to go.
We did find ourselves wanting to go out for dinner and maybe dessert a couple of times while we were here. Morrilton is one of the closer towns that has quite a few selections. They've got some local places for sit down, quite a few Mexican restaurants. They've got name the food chain, they probably have it. But they also have a couple pizza places, which we found ourselves going to because we were both kind of wanted pizza. And they
That
have
means Austin wanted pizza, by the way.
really it does. And we also grabbed some ice cream from Sonic because it sounded good.
Yes. But we went to a local establishment called King's Fries Food Truck. Austin was quite skeptical when I picked it out.
To put in perspective, we had also just gone into the AT&T store in Morrilton, and that was an experience. So if you've ever dealt with an AT&T store, you can probably imagine that it wasn't a pleasant thing. So I was hungry, and I wanted something like, it was a safe bet. Food trucks, typically not a safe bet on food.
Oh, either way, it was awesome food.
It was delicious.
I had a Philly cheesesteak sandwich. It was really good. Honestly, probably the best one I've ever had. They had some really good sauce in it. I don't even know what kind of sauce it was, but it was good sauce.
It's like a spicy ranch or something. I don't know, but it was delicious
It was
because they
good
had it
sauce.
on my fusion fries as well, which was like a chicken, like a grilled breaded chicken over fries with cheese and bacon. It was awesome.
Yeah, really good food. And they also had fried Oreos.
They were like the cheapest fried Oreos I've ever seen. They were 2 for $1, so they were 50 cents a piece, which if you've ever bought fried Oreos before, you'll know that like 4 of them are typically like $6 or $7. So
Yeah.
great value. The entirety of King's Fried's food truck was a great value. If you're in Morrilton, definitely check them out because it was honestly just good food and the people were awesome.
Yes. Great area. Definitely recommend coming to Petit State Park.
Or just the Morrilton or Arkansas area. The entire area is beautiful.
Yes, really beautiful area. Can't wait to show you our drone footage that we got here. If you would like to see more of our day-to-day stuff, be sure to follow us on social media on Facebook, Twitter, Instagram, TikTok, and Pinterest at Two Techie Travelers.
And if you like what you see here, go ahead and hit that subscribe button. If you want to be notified each time a new video is released on our YouTube channel, hit the bell icon. That way you never miss a video. Thank you all again, and we hope to see you next time. Bye.
Yeah.